We've seen the communist regime issue some of the most extreme threats imaginable while Pelosi prepared to fly to Taiwan and a US Navy aircraft carrier and battleship circled around the South China Sea. If Pelosi touched down in Taiwan, Xi Jinping's sycophants said there'd be, quote, resolute and strong countermeasures. They said the People's Liberation Army will, quote, not sit idly by. One Chinese propagandist even claimed China could shoot down Pelosi's plane if it landed in Taiwan, but nothing happened. In fact, the Chinese, now clearly embarrassed, have dismissed the significance of Pelosi's visit, saying it, quote, has no interest in getting involved in a spat with an 82-year-old lady. Well, this might be partly true. The current government in the US is so utterly batty that the CCP might still be trying to work out what the hell they're up against. I mean, would you pick a fight with this woman and her equally batty friends in Washington?
On behalf of the United States, Congress has is just unwavering.
What? Sorry? Perhaps Pelosi was caught up thinking about her stock portfolio. And to be frank, you can't blame her. For those who don't know, Pelosi has amassed an absolute fortune on the stock market while she's been in Congress, all while China has been militarising and America has been on the decline. Over the past 10 years, Pelosi has made about $30 million in tech stocks, according to Republican Congressman Scott Perry. At the same time, she was negotiating legislation impacting America's tech sector. In 2020, Pelosi and her husband made an insane $16.7 million on the money they invested, a return of more than 50%. Meanwhile, the world's largest investment bank, BlackRock, could only make a return of 13%, and Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway only went up by 2%. It gets worse. Nancy bought Tesla stocks right before Biden signed off on pro-electric vehicle laws. She bought options on 4,000 shares of Google right before the House Judiciary Committee voted on antitrust regulation, making her and her husband $5 million on this call alone. All this was done while the average Joe would have been thrown in prison if he got caught making such trades with inside information. Talk about double standards. But this is the state of politics right across the West. In Australia, we have self-serving politicians who make decisions about critical policies like net zero based on what will most benefit them, their career, and their political faction. We have green billionaires like Simon Holmes à Court who finance pro-green independents like Zali Steggall and Zoe Daniels right into Parliament. We have politicians who are happy to sell our critical infrastructure to the Chinese Communist Party for short-term political gain. Think the port of Newcastle. That's the world's largest coal export port, and it's half owned by the Chinese. Or think of Port Darwin. Think of Energy Australia and Alinta Energy, both of which are owned by Chinese companies. It's a strangely volatile world at the moment, but you've got to count your blessings. At least crazy old Nancy didn't start World War III this week.